Hey folks, welcome back to the Priory podcast. My name is Dave Jackson. Welcome back to Western PA. We have a beautiful day here. Leaves are turning. Got some raking to do. Before we get to our next guest, some quick housekeeping. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button so you get all notifications. This is the first time I've said it as a YouTuber. Um, and also, TIB 1999, you have been selected as the next team Zoom call on the Priory. I'll put more information in the links about that here shortly on the various socials. So our next guest, outstanding gentleman, just an amazing technician. He was the stage director in the 2000 tour. In 2001, he was the technical director as a civilian. Just a super nice guy. So I worked with this gentleman a few times at a few worldwides. Just outstanding worker, and that's really the bottom line with Shane. He went into this program knowing zip about what he had to do, and he learned, and he wanted to learn quickly, and he got it done, and he just became one of the best in the technical world for our tours. So please welcome to the Priory podcast, Shane Riley, TIB 2000 and 2001. On you. All right, folks, we have Shane Riley with us today on the Priory 2001 and the 2000 tour. Shane, how you doing, buddy? Long time no see.
I'm good, man. Thank you. I appreciate you bringing me on. This is super cool. It's so good to see you. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good, I'm glad. I wanted to get another tech on. I'm trying to do rotation of techs and vocalists and instrumentalists and comedians. And I had Carrie on a month ago, month and a half ago, something like that. But I want to make sure I want to get another tech on. I'm glad. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I appreciate it, man.
100%.
All right. So what I don't know about you is talk to me about your pre-military life. I don't know where you grew up. I don't know anything about you pre-military. So we're going to kind of divide this up. We'll talk about early stuff, the military, Tops and Blue, other
Okay.
chapters. So yeah, tell me about your pre-military life.
Yeah. Okay. Good question. So I was born in Texas. My dad was in the Navy, so I was born on a Navy base in Corpus Christi, Texas, by a Navy major, I think. Um, my dad was an air traffic controller in the Navy, and so we lived in Kingsville, way down South Texas.
Mhm.
Then we spent some time in Oklahoma. Lived in Oklahoma for many years. Around Texas many years. My mom and dad split up when I was I was going into fifth grade. So we moved to a little small town in Shattuck, Oklahoma. Little bitty small town, not even a traffic light kind of small town. Was there for a couple years. My mom remarried. We ended up leaving. Um, Long story short, we ended up going to Tennessee. We ended up going to Jacksonville. Ended up living in Cincinnati.
Oh wow.
I spent my freshman year in Cincinnati, and then that summer between my freshman and sophomore year, we actually transitioned to Tampa. And so Tampa is where I started my sophomore year of high school. Sophomore, junior, senior year, graduated in Tampa, went straight to the Air Force right out of high school. And after the military, I knew Tampa. That was, I tell you what, my stepdad at the time, I gave him, it didn't, and that ended up not working out with my mom and my stepdad. But I give him a lot of credit. He knew he's like, I've been bouncing Shane around a lot. I got to get him some kind of roots. I got to get him grounded
Right.
something.
Right.
And so, because he was a computer programmer, so very smart man. So he would do a contract, and when his contract was up, we'd move, and then he'd do a
Right.
contract's up, we move. So he's like, I've got to get. So he was able to lock down a job in Tampa that would keep him here. And so that's why I say sophomore, junior, senior year, and then from there I shipped out to Lackland. So, and then from there, uh, Missile and Space Facilities job, Lackland. It went out to Vandenberg in California, tech school, and then end up going up to Malmstrom and was stationed in Malmstrom. So
So why the Navy? Or why not the Navy, I should say.
when so. to that point, I never, it was never really actually offered to me. My stepdad at the time is actually the one that introduced me to the military, and he went straight to the Air Force. We didn't stop go. We didn't collect $200. We didn't talk about the Marines. We didn't talk about the. He was actually in the Army. He was actually an old Army vet.
Oh, okay.
We passed over everything, and they actually took me straight to the Air Force. Went to the Air Force recruiter, did my ASVAB, my consoles, everything. I had been in a car accident when I was 15, and so on my application, they ask you, "Have you ever been knocked unconscious?" Yes. Have you ever had
Mhm.
surgery? Yes. So I had to go through a series of consults to clear me, which I knew I'd be okay. I mean, I played football 2, 3 months right after the car accident. So I fractured my left orbit. I got a real scar right here. You
Mhm.
know, I had some reconstruction. So anyway, long story short, I passed all my consults. I was perfectly healthy, physical, no issues, no problems. And then I was able to ship out. So.
Nice.
But no, I didn't have honestly, I didn't have a choice. Air Force is just that was the direction they took me, and
Right.
that's
Right.
where I went. So and I could never complain. I'm eternally grateful. So
So tell the folks what you did in your career besides Top and Blue. What'd you do? What was your career field again?
so 2MO33A, I was a missile and space facilities apprentice. What does
Ah,
that mean? That
yeah.
means we worked on the ICBMs up in Malmstrom Air Force
Okay.
Base, Malmstrom, F.E. Warren, and Minot, North Dakota. Those are our three options. They got two wings, Wing 6, Wing 1. I was Wing 1. We work with the Minutemans.
Hmm.
Minutemans have the three warheads in the tip. The
Hmm.
Peacekeepers had 10. Okay, if you can envision that. These jokers are 80, 90 feet long by you figure 15 to 20 feet wide.
Hmm.
You know, 15 is probably fair. I actually, believe it or not, my first trip out to the field, I actually got to touch one. They put what they call the diving board down, and
Hmm.
you get to walk out. They put a harness on and walk out there, and I actually got to touch that missile. Pretty trippy. But what we did is we maintain the missile. We keep it on alert. So
Hmm.
God forbid we ever have to push the button.
Right.
That sucker's on alert. So we learned AC. I got my AC refrigeration license in tech school. We learned chillers. We learned diesels. We learned how to troubleshoot. We learned electricity. We learned about diodes. We learned about multimeters. They
Mm.
taught us so much stuff in vision and missile, and we worked underground. So
Right.
everything is underground. So we learned and honestly, that AC refrigeration license, I used it in the civilian world
Mm.
to survive, to
Yeah.
make money. I could go work at an AC company, which I did. Um, I was able to go into the guard after that, and I was able to go in. They had a job with the guard doing HVAC, and so I was able to use that training to make money and survive.
Did you work on a specific system? Were you like a crew chief, a jack of all trades on the missile? Or were you like a hydraulic guy, an electronics guy, an avionics guy? What were you?
Yeah, yeah. So what they had it set up in two different groups. You had your PMT, which is your
Mm.
periodic maintenance, and
Mm.
your FMT, which is your facility maintenance. What's that mean? The periodic maintenance guys, they do consistent checkups on the missile. 2 years, excuse me, 1 year, 2 year, 4 years. So every 2 years, we do a certain amount of basically like routine maintenance, changing the oil, changing the hoses, doing this, doing that. You had a checklist of things to do to maintain. On a 1 year, you had a smaller list. A 2 year, bigger list. On a 4 year, you had a tall list of things to do
Mm.
to maintain the missile. So I was on PMT for 2.5 cycles, and then I actually earned your way up to FMT. FMT is a two-man crew. PMT is like a 6, 7 man crew,
Hmm.
and you get out there, you back up the tractor trailer. All of our equipment is on one tractor trailer, so that's your toolbox, that's your microwave, that's your chem locker, that's your jerry cans, all your hazmat, all your tools, all your screws, all your nuts and bolts and
Hmm.
blah, blah, blah. All your stuff, your lubricants, everything to do your job is on that trailer. It's a
Wow.
mobile toolbox. It's a 53-foot tractor trailer, and I was
Hmm.
a driver. I actually went to school, and they asked who wants to be a tractor trailer driver. I was like, I'll do it. And so they sent me to school right there on base, and I got tractor trailer certified. So that was honestly, that was one of the things that helped me. And when we might get into this, we might not. With Thompson Blue, when I filled out my application, was I
Yeah.
had tractor trailer experience.
Yeah. That's
Another
huge.
story. Oh,
Huge.
yeah.
That's
And
huge.
so I had that. So yeah, so that was PMT, and then FMT was a two-man team. FMT, you go out when there's a problem. that means something's broke. There's a light. There's something on. You troubleshoot. All you do
Mm.
is troubleshoot. PMT, you're a grunt. You're just doing the same checkups every single time. You know, you just
Right.
and you get good because you do the same thing a lot. So you get real proficient, right? So yeah, and so I get and then actually when I got to FMT, I was only there 2 weeks, and I shipped out to Thompson Blue in
Wow.
2000. So I only really got
Wow.
about 2 weeks, but I made it. So
Yeah.
I got
So what? So you got out after 10 years?
10, yeah, four active and then six in the guard, so
So
10
you,
total.
you're not anywhere affiliated and no guard, no reserve, no anything right now.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
So
And two,
so
I
so
actually
let me
finished up.
why did
Yeah.
you get out? Why did you decide? I mean, once you get that 10 year mark, man, you're like, do I stay or do I go?
Well, so good question. So at the time, I was making really good money. I was doing mortgages. I got involved as a mortgage what would they call us? Account executive, something they called us
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And I was
That'll work.
making phenomenal money.
Nice.
And I told the recruiter, "Hey, this is great and all, but I'm doing well in the civilian world." And he said, "Okay." And so I finished out my term and I kept trucking, man. So
Nice.
it
Nice.
wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't a bad thing at all.
Nice. So my next question is, did you see a TIB show before you went to your first worldwide?
Yes,
Where at? What year?
Malmstrom, 98.
Oh, okay.
And
98 tour.
what I remember from that tour, and maybe I'll never know if this guy, it was the trumpet player, a
Yeah.
Mexican Hispanic trumpet player. I don't know what his name is, but he was working the you know what out of that trumpet boy.
Uh,
And I remember him up there, and I kind of remember. So that's a funny story, Dave. Literally, Mounts from Montana. We got nothing to do. Airmen, dumb and stupid. We got nothing. Quez, Richard Vasquez, who you guys know Quez, you
yep.
guys, everybody
Yep.
knows him.
Yep.
He went into the military because of Thompson Blue.
Yeah. I've met a few people.
He knew about the program. He
Hmm.
knew what he wanted to do. He was focused. That's where he went. And
Yeah.
so 98, him and I, well, 97, him and I became really good buddies. We get stationed at the same base. We become basically like best friends. His son is my godson, right? We become like almost thick as thieves. I mean, we're best friends.
Right. Right.
98 rolls around. I'm driving around doing nothing. He calls me, "Hey Shane, what you doing?" I was like, "Nothing." He's like, "You want to go to a Thompson Blue show?" I was like, "What's that?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Had no
Right.
clue. He said, "It's tonight at the convention center at 7 o'clock, whatever it was." He's like, "You want
Yeah.
to go?" I'm like, "Sure." So I meet him down there. We go in, we sit down. I'm looking at this stage, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." They come out, they do the show, they're singing, dancing, whatever. Like I remember that trumpet player. Forgive me, don't know his name.
Uh,
And I'm like, "That's super cool." Matter of fact, the other person I remember was Huey, bald dude, big black
yeah.
tall
Yeah. Huey. Yep.
Huey.
Huey.
Okay, I remember him because I saw him when we were exiting and they were all standing there shaking hands. So I do remember Huey. Of course, at them I didn't at the time didn't know.
Right.
And so 99 rolls around. Quez is like he puts his audition tape in because he wants to go to Worldwide. So he's like, and we're supporting him because we don't have a clue what this is. So anyway, I feel like I'm getting off on a tangent. I
No, you're
apologize, but
fine. You're totally fine.
Quez goes to Worldwide, kills it, best male vocalist, best this, best that. I mean, he
Yeah.
missed the best of show by 2 points, right? Kills it, comes back home. We're celebrating. Da, da, da. He ends up making the tour in '99. We're celebrating, and then obviously they in late '99. That's when Arturo and I decided to put our application in for 2000. So
Right.
yeah, that's how I.
So you put your application in for the 2000 tour. Did you know specifically what you were putting an application in for, a specific position, or did you just like to throw it out there and say I can do everything?
Yeah. So I'm sitting in my dorm room, and Arturo Eusebio, he's our sax player. He's my
Hmm.
roommate. We're roommates.
Wow.
He, yeah,
Wow.
and him and I are good, but we're like brothers. We're thick as thieves too. We're brothers. And so he literally comes to my room and is like, "Hey man, I got an application for you." I'm like, "For what?" "For Tops and Blue." And again, I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't sing. I don't." I tell this story and people look at me like Shane Riley doesn't even know what they do on Tops and Blue. So yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know what this is. I said, "Dude, I don't sing, I don't dance, I don't play an instrument. Like I'm not gifted and that's not my forte."
Right. Right.
And he says, "Bro, I talked to the project officer on base. they have technicians, and I'm like, what's a tech? And when I say that, people laugh at me because they're like, Shane's asking what's a tech? Yes, I was like, what's it? I had no clue. He
Yeah.
said, dude,
I mean,
they
how would
take.
you have a clue? How you
I
wouldn't
would never
know?
know. I would
Yeah.
never know.
You wouldn't
They were
know.
like they said, he said they take technicians on the road and they do staging and they do lights, and again, Arturo doesn't really know, but he's kind of, he said they do, he said, and they they do different things, and I was like okay, I was like, well, I could probably, because again, in the missile field, all we know how to do is work. That's all we
Right.
know how to do, because
Yeah.
when you go out there and that truck backs up to that site, if you're lazy, if you're slow, if you're half-assing it, you're gonna be there for a long time. No, we go out there, we work. So when you get done, you get to go home, right?
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
you move your butt, and again, Thompson Blue is exactly like that. You
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
We don't want to tear down all night. Let's get home.
You
Let's go home.
you were pre-trained already on that.
100%, dude. Because we came from an environment where it was, if you're half-assing it, we're going to let you know, right? So yeah, that's exactly right, Dave. So I was like, okay, and then I looked at the application and I noticed it said, "Do you have tractor trailer experience?" And I put yes, and so I put that down, and I literally just wrote down, Dave. I wrote down what I did in the missile field. I mean, I did this and this. I mean, I was just pulling things. I didn't know what to write down.
Right.
I write it down.
Just stuff that you knew you knew how to do that might translate to something that they need.
That's right, because we didn't do
Yeah.
lighting and we didn't do audio, we wouldn't do rigging, we didn't do staging, we weren't doing wardrobe in the missile field, right? Okay, so I write down whatever I can. I give it to Arturo. He sends it off, and of course, Arturo's saxophone.
Yeah.
And he's saxophone. He's doing saxophone. Okay, he sends the applications in. This is no lie. At that time, we were living on base in the dorms.
Okay.
By the time within a few matter of months, we had actually transitioned downtown. We got a little apartment downtown, and we were living in a little apartment downtown. Okay, it was now I want to say Thanksgiving time frame. Arturo is on vacation. He went to Rhode Island for vacation to see his family. I'm at the apartment. The phone rings. I don't even know if I had it. I don't even know if I had I think I had a cell phone. Can't even remember. My phone rings. Whatever. I pick it up. It's Bernie Roan.
Oh,
And of
Bernie.
course,
All right.
I don't know who Bernie Roan is, right?
Right. Right.
Bernie Roan, hey, is this Airman Riley? I was like, yes, sir. He said, this is Bernie Roan with Thompson Blue. I just wanted to give you a courtesy call. You've been selected to go to Worldwide. And I was like, okay. And see, I'm like, okay, like
Yeah.
that's cool. I'll go to
Yeah.
Worldwide. And then he says, do you know Airman Eusebio? And I was like, well, yeah, he's my roommate because we were roommates. He was like, I've
Wow.
been trying to get a hold of him. I can't get a hold of him. Can you let him know that he made it too? And I was
Wow.
like, absolutely. So I hang up the phone, I get Arthur on the phone, and I'm like, hey, you made Worldwide. And he was so excited, right? So
Wow.
he's so excited. Um,
So
and for
clearly he
me,
didn't have a cell phone. He didn't have a cell phone, clearly, because Bernie was trying to call him.
I don't know what he had. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah. Right.
I
Right.
don't know what he had, but I had some number to his mom or something. Like I somehow got a hold of him and told him. So then, yeah, we end up going to Worldwide. We do our thing. What was even funnier, the funnier story is once we're done with Worldwide, we come home. We're now it's that long wait, right?
Right.
Your wait. It's that, okay, did I make it? Did I not make it? So and so. Me, my viewpoint was, look, if I make this, great. It'll be cool. If I don't,
Yeah.
whatever, dude. I'm
Right.
gonna keep on trucking. He we laugh about this. He was so Dave. He was on the couch. He was on a blank under a blanket. He was so stressed, like so stressed because he wants. And listen. You gotta. People don't know this, and if you're watching this podcast, you don't know this. You'd never know this, but me. That boy, and I give him a lot of credit. He didn't know saxophone when he got to Montana. He
Oh.
knew he liked the instrument. He was musically, he had a music kind of mind, but
Yeah.
he didn't know saxophone. This boy went downtown Great Falls, Montana, went to a music store, found us, walked inside, saw the music instructor, and was like, "I want to learn that." And she's like, "Okay." He started taking lessons. He bought a saxophone. It was wintertime in Montana, cold. he would be in his car. I looked down from my dorm room. The parking lot is black. You'd see this one car with the lights on, and
Uh,
Arturo's down there. Because
going
in
at
the
it.
dorm room,
Wow.
he'd put a sock in the horn, but when you play, it's still loud, right? It's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
so in the dorm, it was very loud. So he would to not bother us, he would go and I would hear him practicing, but when it got late, he would not want to bother us. He'd walk downstairs in the cold, turn his car on, and in the freezing winter in Montana, in the parking lot,
Uh-huh.
he'd be out there practicing. And
Well,
Dave,
well, hang on a
good.
second. Was this before? So
This was
he said
before
practice
Worldwide.
after he got accepted between the acceptance and worldwide, or before the acceptance?
Before he ever put an
Okay.
application in.
Okay.
This was 99
Okay.
leading up to the application.
That's
So
amazing.
it would have been also the winter of 98. You
Right.
think about that December, and then you get into 99, that January, February. In Montana, it's freezing until like June. So
Hmm.
he was practicing, 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 practicing,
That's
practicing,
impressive.
practicing. He would go downtown, he'd practice at home, go downtown, practice. He'd be in the parking lot in the middle of the night. No one knows that story. No one knows that because they weren't there. I was there. I'd look down and I'd see him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I give him a lot of credit, man. He wanted it. He wanted it more than life itself. And you got to understand, he wasn't when he made tour, he wasn't a strong. And he'll tell you this. He wasn't a strong. He didn't read music very strong. He
Hmm.
that wasn't his. But he learned to do it, and he
Right.
knew he had to pick up the pace because those guys were really good.
Yeah.
So I give him tons of credit because he worked his tail off. Anyway, so we fast forward. We get through Worldwide. This is he's stressed. He's stressed. He's stressed. He's stressed. Get this. I'm at home asleep. He gets a phone call from Kenny. Kenny Myers, maybe. Forgive me. Kenny ended up being the band leader. Kenny, I think won saxophone. I think he won award for playing. Say really good. Our band
Hmm.
was phenomenal. So anyway, he gets a phone call from Kenny. Kenny's like, "Hey man, congratulations!" And Arthur was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Dude, you made the tour, bro." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "I haven't gotten a call." Arturo hangs up, drives from our apartment to the base, goes straight to the commander's office, talks to the little secretary, and it's like, "Hey, did you get an email? Did I make the tour?" She goes on. She looks in her email. First email, Arturo Eusebio, congratulations, you made the tour, Thompson Blue.
Wow.
Second email, congratulations, Airman Mark Riley. Because my first name is Mark. I don't
Hmm.
go by that's my dad's name. I go by
Hmm.
Shane's my middle name.
Hmm.
He saw the two emails and he's like, oh my. He drives back to the apartment. I'm passed out asleep, right? Gone.
Hmm.
He opens the door, he slams the door, he screams, "We made the tour!" Like, and I was like, "What?" I wake up, I come out, I'm like, what? He's like, "We made the tour." And so we're hugging, I'm in my underwear, we're hugging and dancing, we're whatever. And dude, we just started crying and laughing. I mean, it was a cool moment because he had worked so hard. And so I knew what that meant for him.
So tell me about that first worldwide you went to. Tell me about that experience.
Uh, uh,
And I don't remember, and,
okay.
I'm sure I was there. I'm sure I was there. I
You
just don't,
probably were.
all these worldwides, tend to, flow together.
Yeah, so Dave, I've never. So here's what's great. I was there. Mario Cross was there.
Hmm.
Kevin Armstrong was there.
Hmm.
You know Kevin.
Oh yeah.
What? This other kid. He had tall kid, red hair. Don't remember his name. So it was me, Mario. Yeah, Kevin. And so there's four of us. We go to San Antonio first and
Hmm.
we start packing up the truck. We start loading the truck. This is the first time, Dave, I'm seeing road cases and I'm seeing trusses and I'm seeing chain motors and I'm seeing Dave. If you want to talk about a dude that was clueless, that was right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing this stuff, and we're working it. We're doing. We load the trucks, like think like two trucks full of stuff. We drive from San Antonio up to Andrews, right? We
Hmm.
drive all the way up there. Okay,
Oh, that's right.
get
That's right. That worldwide was at Andrews that year. Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Okay. Okay, I'm with
yeah.
you.
And it was freezing cold. We're digging the cars out of the snow, and so we go up there, and we just. Here's the deal, Dave. And Mike Wilkinson. It's the first time I met Mike Wilkinson. Actually, I met Mike Wilkinson in San Antonio. He helped us kind of load the trucks and get things going. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm
Hmm.
not mistaken.
Probably was.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He would have been in San Antonio because he lived there.
Yep.
And then we go up there. And so worldwide for me, Dave, that was an incredible experience. Worldwide for me was
Well, was it humbling? You think it was humbling, or was it such a big deal that was just too overwhelming,
no,
or
no,
both?
it was humbling. Forgive me. I'm just
No, you're good. You're good, man. You're good. It's all good. You're
the
with
allergies.
friends. You're with
The dust
friends.
in this house is bad. I got
Yeah,
got a
man.
little dust in here.
Those allergies are kicking in right now. Yeah.
Those allergies are bad this time of
Those
year. You know
timed
what I'm
allergies suck, huh?
saying? Kelly was there. You know Kelly.
Oh,
Kelly
I know
was
Kelly.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
And Dave, it was a situation where
Well, clearly
I, I
you weren't chased away from wanting to go on tour. So it didn't affect you to the negative where you said, you know what, I don't think I want to go on tour. It didn't do
no,
anything like that.
it was the opposite.
Yeah,
I didn't have a clue what I was doing.
yeah,
I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just knew how to work.
yeah,
That's all I knew how to do.
yeah.
That's
Point me, and I'll get it done. Yep, yep.
that's all I know how to do. And when I would finish something, I go to Mike Wilkinson and I'd say, "What's next?"
Yeah,
He'd give me the next thing. I get done. What's next?
yep.
You know, and I teach that to my kids. When you're done, you come back to me to ask me what's next.
Right.
And all I knew how to do, Dave, was I didn't know stage right, stage left, upstage, downstage. I didn't know how
Right.
to work a ratchet strap. I didn't know how to build anything. There was another kid, Dominic. Forgive me, Dominic was there. There was five of us.
Okay.
Dominic was there. And Dominic, he was a red horse troop. So he was a carpenter. He was a handyman. He knew how to work the saws. He knew how to build
Mm,
stuff. He knew how to Mike Wilkinson taught us rigging. I didn't know how to rig. I had no
mm-hmm.
clue what triangulation was. I had no
Yeah,
clue about anything.
yeah,
Mike taught us how to rig. Dominic was a strong in carpentry and building things. Mario was a genius. There's no other way to describe Mario other than he's an absolute genius. He knew audio, so he took
yeah,
the audio route. This other kid with the red hair, I think they kind of put him in maybe. See, Mike Wilkinson handled the lighting, so he kind of had lighting under control. I don't know what that other kid did. And then Kevin, we didn't know it at the time because Kevin was trying out for audio too. We didn't know that Kevin was arguably the best drummer on planet Earth. We didn't know that.
mm-hmm.
Um, we didn't know that until auditions came, and Kevin went to Bernie and said, "Would you mind if I auditioned as a drummer?" And Bernie's like, "Okay." And Kevin, the rest is history.
Yep,
So Kevin was set to do audio. I had no clue about. All I knew how to do, Dave, was work.
yep,
That's it.
yep,
And I was like, that's gonna if I'm gonna make this tour, whatever this is, right? If I'm gonna make this, it's gonna be because I outwork these jokers, and that's
yeah,
exactly what I aim to do. I was like, I'm just gonna outwork them, and maybe that will make it, maybe it won't. I don't know,
yep.
but
Did
that's why.
did you at your worldwide? Did you interview with Chief at worldwide?
No.
No,
No.
no.
No. I interviewed with the only what did I do? I remember they brought us in. We didn't do much. There was a panel of priors. It was the 99 cast, and they asked us to read a book. They asked us to make a funny sound, or they said
Right.
pretend you're a pregnant hippo. And
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
at first, so here's the deal. Okay, so they walked us in and they say, read this book. And so I'm like, okay, it's a children's book. So I start reading the children's book like I'm reading to a child. And
Uh-huh.
within like 8 seconds, they pulled it from like, okay, we're done with that. And as soon as they pulled it from me, I was like, okay, now I get it. They're trying to figure out who I am. They're trying to figure out if I got a
Right,
personality. They're trying to figure out,
right.
is this guy a lump on a log or is this
Well,
guy gonna
plus you might have additional skill sets
yeah,
that they haven't seen
they're
yet.
yeah. And what's crazy about that, in 2001, I end up on stage doing magic tricks, right? How crazy is that?
Yeah, we'll
So,
talk about that in a minute too. Yeah, yeah,
so anyway, so I said, as soon as they yanked that, I mean, I do, it was 8 seconds. They yanked that book. I'm like, okay, I get it. They're like, okay, so pretend you're a pregnant hippopotamus. And my brain said, Shane, if you don't do this, you're going to hurt yourself because they're going to think you're just some no personality, just you're just a lump on a log. You're just so I just sucked it up, man, and I just pretended like to be a pregnant hippopotamus. I got down, started walking around, talked with a funny accent, and they laughed. They laughed, and
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, I think I might have passed."
That's
I don't know.
cool. You made them laugh. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So
Did you know when did you find out you're actually going to be the stage manager? Did you find that out in staging or did you find that out before?
after, so we go through staging, and Dominic ended up making the tour. Dominic was the stage director. I
Uh-huh.
was the stage manager, right?
Okay.
Whatever titles.
Yep.
So we get on the road. We don't get but one, two, three shows in. We get three shows in, and Dominic gets sent home. And so we wake up that next morning. They tell us Dominic's been sent home. We break that meeting. Ed pulls me to the side, and Ed and I just talked about this. It's crazy. Ed pulls me to the side. He said, here's the deal. He said, we believe in you. We trust you. You are not here because there is no other resort. You are not here because we don't have any other choice. You're gonna be our guy. We're gonna support you, and we're gonna get this done. And I was
Wow.
like,
Wow. Wow.
my
No
eyes,
kidding.
I had no idea that they even thought like that of me.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal, and I'll tell you why. In staging, I was told, and again, I was told, if Shane can't drive, this is from Chief. If Shane can't drive, I don't need him. And so Mike Wilkinson told me that. And I
Okay.
said, and that was, in life, you have two choices. You can either find something that motivates you, or you can sit and you can cry and you can bitch and you can gripe and you can whine and complain. And
Truer words have never been spoken right there, my friend.
when he said that to me, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know Chief. Chief didn't know me. I was like, okay, you guys don't understand what you've got in front of you. So, but I'm going to show you, and I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to do it. And so Dave, I worked my tail off. And when that happened with Dominic, and Ed said that to me, I couldn't believe it because I did not think that they looked at me like that. I thought they looked at me as, if Shane can't drive, I don't need him.
Right.
That's why every day was, I'm going to, and then the very next venue, Mike Wilkinson, he never addresses the team as a whole.
Mm.
He's just in his own little world. He does his thing. You
Right.
guys do what you got to do. Not a bad thing. It's just that's just not his personality.
That's the way he operates. Yeah.
Mike Wilkinson,
Yep.
phenomenal. He set everybody down the first two rows. I'll never forget this, Dave. He set everybody down the first two rows. This is the very next venue now. We get up there, and the techs are standing on stage behind him. He sits there. He says, here's the deal. It's Shane's world, and you're in it. Whatever
Yeah.
he does, whatever he says, you do. Is that understood? And they were like, yes. That's it. He walked off. He walked off.
Nice.
And I just stood there like, again,
Yeah.
what? What?
Yeah.
Because I did not think in a million trillion years that I would have that kind of. And here's the deal. It wasn't a. I was just being me. I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
and I was just running around and just working. It was never a. It was never enough. We just set the stage up, man.
Yeah.
We just did our job. And
Right.
so anyway, it was cool. But that's how I found out because
Tell
we
tell
lost.
me tell me about the some of the interesting characteristics of the 2000 set. Something from a stage manager's point of view, from a staging point of view. Tell me some of the interesting parts of that set.
So it was the magic of no, excuse me. It was If You Believe. So it's a
If you
Disney
believe.
set. It's a
Yep.
Disney deal, and
Oh,
I
that's
guess
right.
Chief.
Okay.
It
Yep.
was all Disney, and I guess Chief been wanting to get this done for quite some time, and so we finally got the graphics figured out. We had the rigging to be able to set it up. We got the stairs. It took a long time to get the stairs because we went up a center set of stairs and then up another set of stairs onto those risers. So it took us a long time to really get that all. There was trust. There was trust everywhere. That stage was just a trust
Yeah.
nightmare.
Yep.
And then we had these carousels, these round, huge carousels. There were four of them. One,
Oh.
two, three,
Yep.
four, two on each side, right? And so we had to design this in staging and figure out. He said, "I want to be able to see the musicians, and I want to be able to not see them,
Right.
just like that."
Yep.
And so we had to figure out how to get them to turn and rotate. so that we could see them and then not see them, right?
Right.
And so
And not get cables tangled up and all that kind of thing.
that's exactly right. You can't tangle those cables. So and we figured it out. I mean, it was a little bit of trial and error, but we figured out. We built 4 carousels like tanks, and those jokers made it around the world and back. I mean, we
Wow.
built them like absolute tanks. They were heavy, but they rolled. We didn't
Right.
have to carry them. We just rolled them suckers, right? And it took
Nice.
two of us to roll it into place. Literally, we would get it off the truck, roll it down the ramp, roll it to its spot, lay it down, and walk away. And
Wow.
then when we're done, we would pack it up, lift it up, and roll it right back to
Right
the
back
truck.
again. Nice.
We
Nice.
didn't carry it. That would have killed us.
Yeah.
Putting it on a pallet, that was fun too, because them suckers are round and the
Right.
pallets
Right.
are
Yeah.
rectangle, right?
Pangolins are big cubes. Yes.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of a nightmare, but whatever, we figured it out. But no, the set was great. It was white, it was very light in color, so you had to keep it clean,
Yeah.
which we did. We were very adamant about. We built a box. I built a box that contained all of our graphics because we had a ton of graphics, and I'm like, if we don't build something, these things are going to get destroyed. They
Yeah.
won't
You got to
last five
protect them.
minutes.
Yeah.
So we literally built what we called it a coffin. We literally built a type of coffin. It stayed on the truck. It didn't
Hmm.
move. We would literally stand it up and we would pack, and then we were done. We would lay it down and then we would take the lid off, take the graphics from the truck to the stage.
Right.
Because it was just too heavy. It was just too big. So that was a little bit of a challenge. But as a whole, I love that set, man. We had, nice little plants and we had this and that, and we had those big golden doors, and it was great. The kids loved it. It was
Yeah.
awesome. So
Yeah. What if you had to explain the role, especially in the world of Tops and Blue shows, if you had to explain the world of a tech manager, to a civilian, you said if you just met me at McDonald's and had explained it to me, how would you explain that job to me?
yeah, good question. Good question. So at that particular time as a stage manager, I'm focused on the stage. I'm focused on getting the dance floor laid down right. We had crews around the stage. We had everybody divvied up. Everybody had their jobs. My job was to just simply go in there and just obviously get the set up. And not only that, but once you first get on to the venue, getting get again we had wings, so we had to get it lined up right,
Hmm.
just get the base. But yeah, honestly, it's all about people. It's about people. The crew that you work with.
Yep.
It's you take care of your people, man. You work your butt off and you take care of your people. And everybody's got a job to do. And so it was challenging, but we had a great staging crew. The staging crew made up the majority of the team. We only had a couple doing audio, a couple doing lights, a couple doing rigging. You got your wardrobe folks, and everybody else was on stage. So I had the largest crew
Right.
because it was just such a big ordeal. There was so much to do. And I had so much trust and faith in everybody, what they were doing, because everybody had their little jobs that they made my job easy, so to speak. I had my little jobs to do, and then I would go around and double check, make sure everything was there. But again, we had such a phenomenal team that
Who was the tech director that year?
Mike Wilkinson,
It was Mike. Mike was the
Mike
old.
Wilkinson.
Okay. So the
So
whole tour.
yes,
Was he out there the whole tour that year? Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And that was, I think, the
Wow.
last time he went out there. I think that's the last time he went on the road,
I
if I'm
think
not
that might
mistaken.
be right. What was the toughest setup? What do you remember? What the toughest, or in your mind, what was the toughest setup? What venue?
I can tell you that for 2001, without even thinking about it. 2000, actually, there was two in 2001. And 2000, that's a good one, man. That's a good question. Um, so,
I mean, if nothing sticks out, 'cause, again, a lot of that's a
so
blur.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. Setup was not too bad. It was tear down in North Carolina. I think it was our third show. Again, I was a load master on the truck, so my job is to get everything in that truck, right?
Hmm.
And I had to learn the equipment. I didn't know the equipment. I had to learn it. So we spent all night in North Carolina. I think the base was in Raleigh, whatever base that was, somewhere out there.
Hmm.
Uh, we were there all night. The sun was coming up, and we're still loading the truck. I'm going to the back of the truck looking for something. Okay, bring that. Okay, get that in there. Okay, great. Next thing. Okay, bring that. And
Hmm.
then Mike ended up helping us Thank God. He basically pulled everything off. We created a load. He took pictures. We took the pictures down to the local whatever, got them developed, old school Kodak camera, and he
Right.
said, "Here's the load." He said, "If you change it, I'm going to kill you."
Yeah.
I
Right.
said, "Word, no
Yeah.
problem."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we loaded that truck off those photos for the first couple for the first couple loads, and then I memorized it. I can still tell you that load to this day. And then we got cranking, you know. But setup wasn't as bad. Okay, okay, fine. To answer your question, the first setup.
Very first up.
That's the scariest moment. And then what was even crazier, um, when we would go to tear down, because I just didn't know, I would be scared to death, but I couldn't let them see it, right?
Right.
I'm getting dressed and I'm like, please God, please. And I have to go load this truck. And then we're talking, Dave, it's a 53-foot tractor trailer.
Right.
It's
Yep.
massive. And I got to make all this crap fit. And so I did it. I was scared to death. But then
Yeah.
finally, like I said, we finally got a system and
Yeah.
we were cranking at that
Yeah.
point.
It takes about 10 shows to get the system, maybe even 12, 13, maybe 15 to
Yeah,
get it
yeah.
down.
But my first setup, yeah, that'd probably be the scariest one because again, you just don't know. You're just
Right.
little babies out there. You have no clue.
Well, the
So
2001 show, because Walt had to do magic. Did that throw? And you can compare this to your 2000 show if you want. But because of the magic side of the farm on that 2001 show, did that make staging more interesting, a little more difficult? Was there a little bit more logistics because of what Walt had to do? I mean, obviously it affected staging.
okay, so 2001 wasn't good. I didn't get to staging until late
Right.
because they had, I don't know what they had, or they had either somebody and he went home. They had this kid, I can't remember his name. He didn't make it the whole tour. I didn't get the call for staging until like June, like
Wow.
late May, and we were hitting the road within a couple of weeks.
So
So
pretty much
Dave,
everything's already stuff's already designed by then, right?
yeah, but it
Oh,
wasn't.
but it
It
wasn't. Yeah,
it
that was
wasn't
my
done.
follow up. It probably wasn't. Yeah.
That's why they called because
Yeah.
the set wasn't even done. When I showed up, just like you said, I fully expected to walk in
Yeah.
and see a completed set. It
Yeah.
was a skeleton. It's like walking into a house and seeing nothing but the studs.
Right.
The
Wow.
foundation's there, the roof is there, but that there's studs. Like, what am I supposed? I can't live like this.
Yeah.
So it was, and so this that I ended up. They called me back to be the tech director. So now
Yeah.
I'm the tech director,
You got
right?
promoted. You got promoted, man. And to
Yeah.
boot, you're a civilian, right? Now you're a civilian.
Well, yes and no. I'm with the guard.
Oh, so you're with the
So
guard.
the
Yep.
the guard had to release me. Jerry White, she's a miracle worker. The
Hmm.
guard had to release me to go on tour.
Right.
So I went on tour with a goatee because I was, yeah,
Nice.
a civilian,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I was still technically in the guard. So,
Right.
anyway. But yes, so that 2001 staging was very challenging because I had to figure out in a matter of a few days what they hadn't figured out in months, right?
Hmm.
So we went in there, we figured it out. It was a train wreck, but we did it. We finally got it figured out. We got the set built and we're cruising now. So
Yeah.
yeah, staging was, but no, to answer, so about the magic. So that was, yeah, I had to learn that again from the ground up because I didn't understand. So I was working the lift. Then they had me helping out with the box trick, different things.
Hmm.
It was a different kind of show. We had Walter, and so it was super cool. That was a great team. I love that team. That was a phenomenal team. And the magic stuff was pretty cool. Khalil was a big part of that. Khalil kind of helped them during staging with the magic stuff because he brought that from Vegas. He brought his
Oh, I
influence.
didn't know that. I thought they hired like a contractor to teach Walt the tricks, or a magician to teach Walt those tricks.
That was Khalil. They could have brought in a consultant. I don't know
Uh,
if I remember seeing anybody, but it was Khalil. Khalil is the one that helped us do all that, and he brought
right.
that influence in. They could have brought again. I got there late, so they could have brought somebody in. I just wouldn't have known him.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So
So, but
the 2001 show, well, obviously, we had 9/11. So did you guys during the downtime during 9/11? Did you guys work on the sets and spiffy things up and rehearse? What did you guys do during the downtime?
yeah, so everything was packed up. So no, I mean
Oh
there wasn't
wow.
much. Everything. So we were in Spain. We're in Rota in
Hmm.
Spain. And we're getting ready. It's about 2 o'clock. We had a show that night, and the project officer comes in his little golf cart and was like, "Hey, where's Greg?" Greg Jordan, at the time, was our tour director, Greg
Hmm.
Jordan. And so I said, "Well, he's on stage. We're rehearsing." He's like, "A plane just hit the towers," and I was like, "What?" He said, "I need to talk to Greg." So he goes and gets Greg. Greg goes back to the hotel there, and then he comes back and says, "Shane, we got to shut it down. Something's happened." And so we pack everything up. We go back to the hotel, and then we start watching on TV. We start watching
Right.
the towers on TV. And then obviously we canceled the show that night. I actually took a picture. We wrote on a 4x8 sheet of plywood. We wrote "show canceled." I took a photo of that. That's like an iconic photo. I don't know where that photo is.
That would be nice to find. That's a rare thing for TIB to do.
Let me tell you. I took that we some one of the guys, I think it was Mario, had spray painted "show canceled in sympathy." And then at the bottom, there was some space. I took a spray can, and I get this from my mother. My mother dates everything. She puts a date on all kinds of stuff: a plate, a
Not
photo, a fork, whatever.
not a bad attribute.
Not an bad attribute. And I looked at the sign, and I'm like, I need to date this. Matter of fact, Dave, it was the following day, so I backdated it. I'm like, I need to date this. There's something significant about what just happened, and I
Hmm.
dated it September 11th, 2001. And then I took a photo. I stuck back and I took a shot of that 4x sheet of plywood, and I have that shot right there in Rota, Spain. I have that photo somewhere. I don't. It's probably buried,
Yeah.
but. Anyway, so yeah, we didn't get to do much. We actually did perform for the troop. We were stuck in Rhoda for about, I want to say, 4 days, and then we packed up and we went to Germany. We went to, I think, Spangdahlem. They flew us to Germany, and we were in Spangdahlem for like another like week, maybe a week and a half, and we did perform. I don't know what we found. We found something, and we performed for the guys there in Spangdahlem. We did a little mini show, uh, and then I want to say we were there a week or 2 weeks. It wasn't long, and then from there we were able to pack up and come home,
Right.
and it completely changed our tour schedule. Everything was different. Everything
Yep.
was wrecked,
Everything
and
changed
so
that day. Yep.
yeah, yeah. And I tell you what though, Dave, at that time, and I don't really remember, at somehow, some way, there was some sort of website. Someone had created a website, and you could leave like a comment on a website, and you could go in and read the comments. It was almost like a little Facebook, but Facebook hadn't been invented yet, but it was a
Right.
website that you could go on and leave a comment. And people were like, "Hey, we're praying for the 2001 team. We know you guys are out there." And I remember reading that website, and I remember writing back saying, "Thank you for your prayers. Like, thank you."
Hmm.
They were thinking of us, because they knew obviously there was a team out there, and we were
Right.
stuck in Germany. And then we finally made it home. But I remember that. I don't know who created that or what, but and I remember
I
actually
think it was
writing on that website.
Bob Morrow. I think it was Bob Morrow's website that he had, the TIB
There you
website.
go.
Yeah, I
There
think it
you
was
go.
Bob.
It was somebody's something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
might have been it.
Yeah, we were all on that thing. Till
Yep.
till he just decided it was just too much to handle and just decided to let it go. But
Yeah, and then
that
for
was a great tool.
yeah, and it allowed us to kind of communicate back and forth. I remember writing on it saying, "Thank you, I appreciate that." So if anybody's watching this and you threw out prayers in 2001, thank you, because we felt them. So
So
super cool.
tech director as a civilian versus stage manager as a you were a senior airman when you went on tour in 2000.
Yeah. Yes.
Which one did you find more demanding? Tech director or
Oh,
of the 2001 tour or staging on the 2000 tour?
yeah. No, tech director to that. But here's the deal. Here's what happened. Halfway through the tour, the stage manager quit.
Oh.
Matter of fact, when we got back from Germany after 9/11, Chief, and I've never seen him do this. Dave, maybe you could help me with this. He literally, dude, some things happened that I still can't explain. He literally sat us down. He sat us down as a unit, and he said, "If you don't want to be here, you can go home."
Hmm.
And I'm sitting there like what? Like I can't even believe what I'm hearing. He's like, "If you don't want to be here, if this is not your," and see, there were things happening behind the scenes that I didn't know.
Right, right,
I
right.
didn't
You're
understand.
not privy to everything. Yep.
No, I
Yep.
wasn't. I was just a pawn in this chess game, right? So he's like, "If you don't want to be here," and he wasn't mad. He wasn't
Just
like screaming. He was just like, if you don't want to be here, and this is just something that you realize that, mind you, this is now September. We've been on the road since June. So it's only
Yeah.
been a few months, but it's been enough that, and listen, those first few months were bad. We did not have the leadership we needed. The tear down, I was trying to explain, hey guys, we can't do it like this. This is not gonna. Anyway, that's a whole other sermon, Dave. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
offline.
Yeah.
But it was bad. It was rough. And he said, if you don't want to be here, you can go home. And I have no hard feelings. We'll get you a plane ticket and you go home. Well, the stage manager at the time, he took that ticket and he left. So
Wow.
now I was tech director, stage manager, and whatever else title you want to throw on him.
Yeah. I
Marriage
didn't.
counselor, whatever. I was
Yeah.
all, I was all
Oh,
out.
I just bumped my table. That was crazy. So yeah, I was a stage manager and the bass player in '93. We didn't have an active stage director manager, so I just got the job in '93 and the bass.
Nice.
So I had to do all that
I
stuff.
didn't know that.
Yeah. 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 Staging became my thing. So I knew
Yeah,
about a 40 by 20 stage real quick.
yeah, yeah,
These are,
yeah.
and did you now? I say this as a little bit of a joke, but there's a nugget of truth to this. When you got into a venue and you realized you could not put up the whole show, it was too low, not deep enough, not wide enough. You couldn't have all the wings, whatever, lower truss. I know the performers were like, yes, a smaller stage. We don't have to do the whole thing tonight. We can just do a minimal stage and do a great show. Did you guys ever go through that where you're like, I could take a break a little bit and not upset the whole thing?
Yeah, so one of the things that come to mind is Clear Alaska, that little contingency base out there in Clear Alaska. We could only take a little fraction of the real set. We did the full show. So the
Right.
vocalist, I'm like, get your butt out there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So we did the full show, but yeah, we that was very rare and far and few between. But
Very rare.
Clear,
Very rare.
yeah, yeah, Clear Alaska. Could only take a couple things. That little deal that we did in Spangdahlem, like I said, and after 9/11,
Hmm.
we literally took partition walls from we were like a community center, and we that was our set, and I hung a flag in the middle. That's it. That was our set because everything's packed up.
But they
So
still got a good show.
we made it work, right?
Yep.
Somehow, if I don't even know, I don't even wardrobe was packed up too. I don't know what the girls, I don't know what the guys, I don't know what they were. I think they honestly, I think
Probably a one costume show. Probably.
no, 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 no. They were in the blue shirt and blue shorts.
Right.
The little like pajamas. You know those little
Yeah.
blue shorts that you
Yeah.
wear in staging?
Yeah.
That's basically what they were in. That's
Wow.
because it had tops and blue on it. Because
Yeah.
and then at the end they changed into their. I think we had khakis, and so they changed their khakis and their polos for like the final.
Patriotic set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 But whatever. We and somehow I don't know if Mario was able to somehow get off a pallet a speaker and the mic box and maybe a board or something. He somehow he was able to put something together so we
Uh-huh.
had some audio. You know,
Right.
we had no lighting and it was just whatever lights we had.
Right.
So, but
Wow.
yeah, we just made it work
Wow.
like anything else.
Wow.
So,
What's the biggest tech snafu you remember? Either show. What's the
what's the biggest
biggest?
what?
What's technical snafu? The most technical thing, the craziest thing that went wrong on either
Yeah,
tour.
yeah. So in 2000 it would have been Sigonella. We got rained on, just dumped on. In 2001 it was Guam. We got rained out, and we had to. We were. It was raining, raining, raining. We just kept performing, and I think we finished the show. 2000. We all got sick. And when I say
Oh,
we all, I was one of the lucky ones. Me and Monica didn't get sick. 95% of the cast got sick.
what
And
were you
this
guys
was
passing
in,
around? What was going on?
so we were in Germany. If I'm not mistaken, we were in Germany. Forgive me, I don't remember the base. I do remember the venue. But I remember waking up that morning and Ed called me. Ed's like, so here's what happened. We were there. I think we got a night off. I think we set up, we had the night off, and we performed the next day. So that next morning, the stage is already set. We could get to sleep in a little bit. Ed calls me and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "I'm good." He's like, "Are you feeling okay?" I said, "I feel great." He's like, "How's Monica?" I'm like, "Monica's fine." He's like, "Okay, click," and I'm like, What's that all about?
Yeah.
Sure enough, we end up shoot. How did
Somewhere.
that how did that okay, yep. He and I end up showing up at we Monica and I showed up at the venue around I don't know 3, 4 o'clock, whatever it was, because we had to, and we find out then that 95% of the cast was sick. Kevin, the drummer, toast. Everybody was just toast. Ed was like, "Okay, guys, what are we gonna do? Like, what are we gonna do here?" And everybody, Dave, everybody was like, "We're gonna do it. We're gonna suck it up."
Nice.
And the
Nice.
vocalists were throwing up. The band, Kevin was sweating to death. And obviously, your drummer's leading
Yeah.
he's
He
leading the
he
pack.
he determines the length of the show.
Yeah, man. And I mean, imagine. And so like I said, there were only a couple vocalists that were good. A couple of band members were good. I was okay. I couldn't tell you what about Mario and Mike. I couldn't tell you what they were, but and this was 2000. Like I said, Monica was okay. And then we just did it. We just did it.
Yeah.
We did the show, and then what happened was after the show, we all lined up, and Chief knew what was going on. After the show, we line up, and Chief gets to we say a quick hi to Chief, like, "Hey
Mhm.
Chief, I'm okay," all the way down. And then Ed said, "We're going home." Like we were supposed to tear down and then go there. He said, "We're going home. You guys are going home. You're going straight to bed." The next morning we come back, everybody's a little bit better, and we
Mhm.
tear down the next morning. So that was the only night we didn't tear down that night
Wow.
because
Any any crazy stuff? Any crazy like anything on any of your show? Nothing fell. Wind didn't blow down anything. Any truss sections or any flats or anything got blown away.
uh, in 2001, we were doing a Lee Greenwood show, and the set next to us fell over because they didn't have it rigged right.
Oh,
It
wow.
toppled, it crashed, it damaged the drum set and crashed it. Um, what was the other thing? Oh, in one of the shows in 2001, we were in a nice venue in Lord knows where, really beautiful place, and the lift that lift Katie up and down,
Hmm.
it got stuck,
Oh,
and you couldn't. And that particular trick, that lift rolled out and rolled back, and so when it rolled out and she went up and got stuck, I couldn't roll it back under
right,
because it was up, it was
right,
raised. And I had to get the thing out of the way because the vocalists were going to dance right there.
right, right.
So I have to come out from backstage. I grab the lift and I just pull it down, and it goes kapong. And when it did that, the whole venue, it was like an echo, like echo, echo. It was
Yeah,
just it radiated throughout the
like
entire,
a
and
big
people,
gong.
and they started laughing. I mean, Walter had to get her up off of there, and I'm just like, Jesus.
Wow.
So I get it down, I push it back, and I can hear the crowd laughing, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
hey man, you win some, you lose some,
It's
right?
showbiz, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great way to
Okay.
put it. So, yeah,
So,
that,
so the theme of the 2001 tour was obviously magic. The core of that show was music and magic.
yeah, magic of, yeah,
So did uh this kind of gets back to what I was talking to you about before, because magic was incorporated into that show. Did that create any more difficulties from a stage point of view or from a director's point of view? Did that was that a seamless thing compared to like the 2000 show? Did it work out like it should, like was normal, or was that like a really bizarre thing to add technically to the show?
no, it was pretty seamless. It was pretty seamless. The lift was challenging at times because it was so big and it was so heavy,
Hmm.
and we had it came in a box, so you had to tear it. You had to tear the lift down and build it up. You had to tear it down, and so every show you're tearing it up and building it, tearing it up.
And what was the
So
lift used? What was the lift used for?
it was a lift where Katie would go up and down like she was floating in the
Okay.
air,
Okay.
and Walter would stand behind her and go like this, like
Right.
she
Right.
like he's lifting her with his
Right.
magic hands, right? And I'm back there with a remote control controlling it.
Wow.
So there's a wire to a box, to a junction box, and I'm
Uh-huh.
backstage, and I can see this little crack, and I'm watching him and
This
his
is great.
hands, and I'm what,
Yeah.
and I've got this little deal, and so I bring her up, and he does a thing, and then I bring her down. It only works if you're sitting in the front row looking straight. If you're here, you can
Uh-huh.
see the bar. She's sitting on a bar that wraps around Walter, and it goes up and down.
Was the lift like a scissors lift kind of thing?
No, it's a hydraulic lift. It literally just brought her up, and then it brought her down. It was all
What
hydraulic.
what was that? If, outside the show, what was that type of lift used for? Was this designed specifically for that magic trick?
Yes, yes, and I think
Wow.
that was all Khalil. Khalil was influ. He influenced all of that, so he
I had no
knew.
idea. I had no idea Khalil worked on that show. Wow. All right.
Yeah, he was with us during staging, and then he did not, like in 2000. He was out there like a good number of shows. In 2001, he by staging was over. He had to go back to Vegas,
Hmm.
or yeah, he was performing in Vegas, so
Right.
he wasn't out there very, he on 2000 he was out there with us longer. 2001, when we were done with staging, he had to go back. But yeah, so
Wow.
that was quite challenging. That was probably the hardest
What was
trick.
the what was the basic uh premise of this minus the magic stuff? What was the basic premise of the setup of the rest of the set? What was the format? What was the uniqueness of that set?
Yeah, so that set, there were there were um I'm trying to remember I'm trying to remember what was in the middle. There was obviously something in the middle, but they were on the wings, and they went upstairs that came from the back.
Oh, okay.
We had to design custom stairs because they came up the back, and there were these doors. And so the vocalists would come in through like these three doors, and
Okay.
they could come and go as they please. And then there were stairs that came down the back. I'm trying to remember what was in the middle.
Well, drum riser or something, right?
It was a riser. Yes. Okay. In the middle was the band. The band
Yeah.
was in the middle. So you
Right.
had a riser, you had band members up top, and they were below. That's what it was. There was band
Gotcha.
up top, band below, and then you had the risers, and then under the risers were I think like curtains, so they could come and go from there too. So those
Yeah.
are like entry and exit points there as well.
Right. Right. Right.
But the top were doors, and that was I had that's what they hadn't figured out in staging, and we finally figured it out. I was able to design some doors that would open and close.
And before all this, you didn't design anything, right? You were designing based on stuff you saw at the tech center, ideas that popped in your head that you had to ask Mike to say, does this make sense to you? If we try this, if we do this, I mean, you
Right.
that's amazing to me. You say you design stuff, and you went into this whole thing thinking I don't design anything.
Dave, you're exactly right. I learned so much about myself,
Yeah,
and when you're put in a
and your
position where
capabilities, man, and your capabilities.
I learned things about myself that I didn't know, skills that I didn't know that I had. I
Right,
had no idea that I even could do this, and that I end up actually could be kind of good at it. Again, when you don't have a choice but to do something, you start to figure it out real fast,
right,
right?
right, right. Yeah,
If you get thrown in the deep end, you're going to swim, brother. Like you're going to swim or you're going to sink, one of the two. But you're going to the body will swim, the
right.
body will do it.
We'll figure it
So
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
I had to just, and again, I just started doing stuff, and to me, it just came as to me it was like a common sense thing. I could see it, I could visualize it, and then I could just go do it.
Well, you looked at it from a layman's point of view, not as an engineering point of view, and said we
Right,
should probably be able, you want Occam's razor. The simplest way is the best way, or the most obvious way.
right.
So,
And
did any
yeah,
point on either of these tours did you think about just calling it quits and asking Tom Petty to go home?
yeah, that's a great question. And to answer that question, the answer was yes. In 2001, um,
Pre or post 9/11?
this would have been post.
Okay.
Uh, things that I don't even know how to put into words,
Well,
but I was
just do the broad strokes. If it's something you don't want to talk about, just do the broad strokes,
no
or not. Or
yeah, no, it's fine. I just it got really, yeah. And I was sitting there one day. I don't even know what show it was. I'm sitting there, And I knew in my heart I could never quit. That's just not how I'm
Right.
built. But
Yep.
I was contemplating, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing here? I don't need this.
Yeah.
I've already done I did it. I completed. I got to the banquet. I did this. Like,
You've
I
got the
don't
ring.
need, I
Yeah.
don't need this. And I'm sitting there. This is a true story. I'm sitting there at the back of the stage. It's dark. Some of the vocalists were about to perform in probably 45 minutes, and I'm dressed and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, and I'm at one of my low points, you know.
Yeah.
And Hoss, his name is Hossman. Uh, he was our class clown. He's an awesome dude. If you're Hoss, you're watching this, I love you, man. Um, uh, he came around and he said something. Dave, I don't know what he said. He said something and it
Hmm.
made me laugh.
Oh,
And when
nice.
I laughed, I said, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here because I'm not going to let that guy down.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
going to let that dude down. And I'm not going to let the rest, no matter what I'm dealing with, I'm not going to let the rest of these guys down because I knew what it meant to them to finish. And I knew that if I was to walk away, if I
Hmm.
walked away, I don't even know what would have happened to that. I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah.
And as we got down the road, years later, I had people call me and say, Shane, if you hadn't have been here, I don't know how we would have done it. They're like, we would have never done it. And I'm like, you would have done it.
Yeah.
You would have figured it out.
They would have figured it out.
You
You're
would
right.
have figured you would have figured it out. They're like, yeah. Maybe you're right, but it would have been hell. And so when Haas made me laugh, I was like, that's why I'm here. That's why
Yeah.
I'm here. And I changed my attitude. I changed my focus. I regrouped, and I was like, we're gonna finish this strong. Dave, when we lost, Dave, we lost over 10 people.
I was
We
gonna say
finished that.
2001. If I remember 2001 team having a lot of folks.
We finished that. We rolled into San Antonio with a skeleton crew, and I didn't care. I told them, I'll set this sucker up with two people. I don't
Hmm.
care. We'll get it done. So we coasted into Lakeland at Worldwide on literally on fumes with a skeleton crew, brother. And I'm talking a skeleton crew. We had lost half our vocalists, band members, technicians. They
Wow.
were dropping tour director. They were dropping like flies, brother. That's why Greg got promoted
Hmm.
because we lost our tour director. So Greg ended up being tour director. I was tech director, obviously, and him and I were great. I mean, you know Greg Jordan.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Greg, I love you. So he was awesome. And we did the best we could. He had never been tour director, but he just knew how to be Greg, right?
Yep.
He just
Yep.
knew how to be Greg. And
Well.
he was like, Shane, I got you. You just do it. Like, and he
Yeah.
did. He left me alone. He's like, you just do it, and
Right.
we did, man. So
Yeah. Is it a fair statement to say that the 2001 tour was physically, mentally more demanding than the 2000 tour?
yeah, you could say that. You could say that. Listen,
Yeah.
in 2000 we had Ed. Look,
Yeah.
if anybody watching this, if you know Ed Jones, I know him the way I know him. He was phenomenal.
Hmm.
Without Ed Jones, we don't have that 2000 tour like we had. We don't have the
Right.
success like we had. Ed was the backbone and the glue that held us together because we had a lot of strong personalities. And when you have that many strong personalities in one bus, you need someone with an even stronger personality to level you
Correct.
out.
Yep.
And so he was that guy. He was that guy to level us out. Dave, I don't have a good relationship with my dad. I've never had a relationship with my dad ever.
Mm.
He was one of the first men, and I mean like a man,
Yeah.
to come into my life and see something in me and
Yep.
seed into me that I didn't see myself.
Right.
I didn't know what Shane Riley was. I'm 19. I know I'm 21 years old. I'm 21.
Yeah.
What? I
Yeah.
don't know what's in here.
Right.
I don't know. I
And by
kind of know.
and by the way, you're 21 years old and touring the globe.
So yeah, you don't know what's in there. You kind of know, but you don't
Yeah.
have a clue, especially a
Plus,
young
you don't
dude.
know. Plus, you don't know what other people are seeing of you. You don't know. I mean, Ed. I will say this to my grave. Ed is a person, and Tom's the same way. Ed can analyze a person and know not necessarily what's in their heart, but know their intentions and what path they will probably take in about 2 minutes.
the
He's
great judge
so,
of character, right?
so good at judging character, just wonderful at it. And I don't think he's ever had a miss. He might have, but
No, I think you're right. I
yeah,
think you're right. And I talked to Ed just recently, a week ago, maybe a week and a half, and him and I got to talk, and I s- and he I was like, Ed, without you, without your leadership, and again, leadership is key. When you have bad leadership, everybody will take. You have
yep,
bad leadership, you're not successful. If a
yep.
football team has bad leadership, they don't win the Super Bowl, right? It
Any organization,
any organization, we
yep,
had phenomenal leadership with him because Chris Niffen was our tour director. God bless her, love her to death. But that team was such a strong, hard-headed team. They would have walked all over her. And I hate to
hmm
say that, but that's the truth.
yep,
Ed was there to balance it out and be like, no, this is, and again, when you have good leadership, that was why we were so successful, was
yep.
because of him.
I
100%.
would I would completely agree. That's a good
And,
man. That's a good
and
man.
yeah, and what comes out of me today, to this day, is because of him. A lot of what you see comes out of me, and it came. And then I learned from Mike Wilkinson. Again, another
Yep,
phenomenal
yep,
leadership piece. I had to in 2001. I was like, okay, Shane, okay, buddy, what did Mike do? What did Mike do?
yep,
Mike, he was a teacher to a degree. He was a watch me work, and I watched him and I learned from him. He was that silent leader,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
He was the he wasn't the rah rah rah. He was the work by example. So
yep,
I watched him, and then I was like, okay, okay. We just landed. I know they're going to show me where the venue is. I know where the plane is. I know what time we have to be here tomorrow. I got to figure out with the crew how to get the pallets from the plane to the venue.
hmm
I got to find that person. I found that person. Okay, they need to be here at this time. I was there at that time. Okay, this pallet needs to go here. You have to again. You have to just figure. And I'm like, what would Mike have done? This is what I thought Mike would have done. That was every single yeah.
yeah. Constantly going through your head. What would Mike do? How would he handle this? Yeah,
Yeah. And then what helped was it was fresh because I had just been there the year before. So
yeah,
I was seeing these venues again. I'm like, well, I was just here. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, we did this, we did that. Watch for that, watch for that, watch this. Let's do, we got that, we got that. And so the cool part was I had just been there. There were a couple of venues I'd never been to, no big deal. But yeah, it was still kind of fresh. So that helped.
So
Helped.
I just lost my earpods. Is my voice still good? Can you hear me? I just lost my earpods.
Yeah, perfect, perfect, perfect.
Yeah, you're not gonna get any feedback other than exactly what you just said about Ed. Tremendous man, tremendous leader, tremendous skill set. Don't even get me going about his vocals and his dancing. I mean, Ed is Ed. Ed actually walked me to the airport when I had to leave in '97. Ed's the one that drove me to the airport. Ed watched me separate my stuff, and he took me to the airport. And we hugged, and
What
when
happened?
I had to go. So I was asked to go on the '97 tour, which was the 50th anniversary of the Air Force tour. No, 50th anniversary of Thompson Blue tour. Sorry, and a huge tour, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, whole areas. But and then I actually told Tom before I went on that tour that I wanted to go again. Like in '96, I think I told him, if you ever need me, I'd like to go again. So this is 4 years after my '93 tour, and he asked me to be the tour coordinator, and I was totally honored. Couldn't wait to help. But what I didn't do is the prerequisites before you go on the road is make sure your family's taken care of. And I left in the middle of building a house and left that to my wife to finish. And the contractors lost their mind and things were going really bad with liens and loans and contractors coming and do stuff. And I just had to come home because our house that we were building, which is our first dream house, our first house actually, we were losing it, and I had to come home. So, but Tom was great. He said, "We can get you back. Just take a couple days, see if you can't get it worked out." But I called Tom 24 hours later because it was just so bad I couldn't come back. But yeah, the next morning, the folks on the bus had to get the just so you know Dave's gone speech from Chief and Ed and yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, back to Ed. Great, good man. I'm gonna do everything I can to get him on this podcast.
Nice,
All
nice.
right, so what I want to do now, I want to get a little groundwork here, a little baseline. I know we got your civilian life, we touched on your military, we touched on both tours. Um, Quick lightning round. You ready? Lightning round. I'm gonna give you a phrase and just give me an answer. You ready?
Okay.
What's your go-to comfort food?
Cheesecake.
Wow, interesting. Favorite genre of music?
Hip hop.
Uh, if you're in a bad mood, you're feeling kind of down, is there any specific song that you go to? Any tune, any number, any song that you sit back and go, you know what, that takes me back, or that sets me at ease.
Yeah, there's a couple country songs that came out recently. I like country too. I like all kinds of music, but there's a couple country songs that come out that there's one in particular, Luke Combs, and it's called Backup Plan. It's brand new, just came out. It's called Backup Plan. Where I'm at in life right now, that's my song, Backup Plan.
Oh, all right, all right. What's your favorite movie?
Oh, oh man. Uh, any given Sunday.
Oh, interesting.
I'm a football guy. What can I say?
Wow, yeah. What's your favorite movie line? Is it from the same movie? What's your favorite
Oh,
movie
Al,
quote?
Al Pacino's speech at halftime. I mean, it's a game of inches, baby. It's a game of inches.
That's
Shawshank,
perfect.
Shawshank Redemption. My favorite line: "Get busy living or get busy dying."
Ryan, I love that line.
That's my line.
What was your least favorite part of touring?
My least favorite part. 99 worldwide. Yeah, yeah, that's probably number one.
Wait a second. That's not really touring.
Okay, fine. Well,
Least
okay.
favorite part. Everybody has a
Least,
least favorite part. Might have been
yeah,
stinky
yeah, yeah.
wardrobe. It might have
Well,
been stinky wardrobe. It might have been the hours. It might have been I didn't like riding the butt. Whatever.
yeah, that's a great question. That's a great question. Least favorite part. I mean, yeah, probably lack of sleep. I mean, I love to sleep, so that's probably the lack of sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
I'd
agree
say
with that.
that.
Excluding, I know you're not. You did do a perform. You were performing on the 2001 tour, right? You actually went on stage. What did you
Yeah,
do again? You helped. You helped with the magic.
yeah. I was one of the magic helpers. Yeah, I
Yeah,
had to wear a tux and everything. Yeah,
yeah. Excluding
had a
performing.
wardrobe change. Dave had a
I know you had
wardrobe
a
change.
wardrobe change. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Had my tux.
Yep. So excluding performing when you're on stage with Walt and the team, what was your favorite part of tour?
The people,
The people. I love
the
that.
people, the people, the locations. Like you mentioned earlier, we're 21 years old. We got to see the world for free, man.
Mhm.
We got to see Hawaii. We got to see Greenland, Iceland. We got to see Guam. We got to see we got to see the Middle East. You know, we got to see Germany, Switzerland. I mean, you
Very,
got to see the
very few
world.
people can say that. Very few people. Very
Yeah,
few.
but
Oh,
I miss my team. I miss my teammates.
yeah,
I miss my teammates.
yeah. I hear you. Okay. So before we wrap this up, tell me if you have one. The prior that either influenced you the most or that you just really gravitated to for advice on anything.
Yeah, so I got so it would have to it had to be Khalil. It
Okay.
had to be Khalil because Khalil in 2000 was with us during staging,
Mhm.
and Khalil is Khalil, but he's
Yeah.
not a tech.
Yeah.
But he did it anyway. He didn't have a clue what he was doing, but he did it anyway, and he ended up becoming one of my mentors. I was best man at his wedding. He ended up
Oh,
becoming
nice.
yeah. Him and I became really good buddies. I just texted him tonight. Him and I became really good buddies, and he ended up being Ed ended up becoming a mentor too. This was later on down the road,
Mhm.
but it had to be Khalil because he was with us from the beginning, and he was right in the grind with us from the beginning,
Right.
helping with everything with during staging, whatever we needed. So
Nice. Nice.
yeah.
Um, do you have anything that you want to ask me or that you need to know about or anything like that? You got anything you want to whoop on me? Anything you want to talk about real quick?
Yeah, so how did you get into Thompson Blue? How did you even how'd that come about to you? How you been
I,
playing bass your whole life? Like you, I know you're a bass
I,
player. I'm sure
I
you play. I
start
see the guitars in the background.
yeah, that those are experimental dabblings, the piano and the guitar. I'm not in any bands. I'm a hobbyist at best now.
Right.
Um, I saw my first show in England, 82. I was there
Wow.
in 83, and Chief Jose Finn was in that cast. But I knew immediately that's what I wanted to do. I said, I can't think about something more cooler than playing bass and entertaining the troops. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. So I did my first talent show in an instrumental group in 82. And then it took me all the way to 1991 to finally get to worldwide. Because back in the day, we've explained this on this podcast with many of the guests, back in the day, you had to go through base level and interviews at base level. You had to go to regionals and interview at regionals. So you had to make it past that to get selected to go to command level. So you had to do a talent show at command level and do interviews. And if they said you were good to go to worldwide.
Wow.
So you had to
Wow.
go, with the exception of a 2.5 year break at Castle Air Force Base, so I didn't do anything talent wise. It was just my only musical goal in life was to make TIB. That was it. That
That's
my
rigorous.
musical, even though I had a great military career as a jet engine troop and a services troop in the early part of my years, my goal musically is totally complete. I got to entertain the troops for an hour and a half each day for 10 months, 11 months, play the bass, and see the world. So I literally had no musical aspirations once tour was done. I still played bass, still in a few bands, still
Because
helping
you
out
felt like you
musicians.
checked all the boxes. You
I
felt
checked
like
all
you.
musically. I checked all the boxes, and to be asked to come back to help, and to go back with the '97 team was just icing on the cake. I think I did maybe every worldwide up till when I ended the program, except maybe one, and that was the year our son passed away. So I wasn't going to go during that, but it was, yeah, just years and years and years and years. That's why folks that make it the first time, the folks like me that went like, you did it in one time, you sent your tape in once and you made it through. But that's the way the system got built eventually because they didn't have the talent pool. Because back in the day, we were doing worldwides were in civic centers at Eglin and Tyndall downtown.
Wow.
We had celebrity. I mean, Barry White was a judge at my worldwide.
Wow.
Barry freaking White. Yeah,
Wow.
so it was much more grandiose. But the techs came in a month early to build stages from scratch. They didn't use TIB stages. They were all built from scratch for a huge stage at convention centers and civic centers.
Yeah.
The techs were flew in months earlier to build these things.
Like
But yeah,
techs from the Air Force, or like they're like
no,
the like
they're a
subcontractors.
combination of priors and people that they wanted to interview like what you did to help
Okay.
out. So from that pool at those worldwides, the same thing with you guys, at that pool of worldwides, they would select a team for that next year's tour.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I
Gotcha.
got to 91 worldwide. Uh, didn't get selected. Got the judges special recognition award, and then put another tape in. Got selected to come back for the 92 worldwide. Won a Roger Wilco, and then got selected for tour
Atta boy.
for
I,
93.
I I tell you what, Dave, this is the honest to God truth from the bottom of my heart. When I first met you, obviously Kelly,
Mhm.
I will tell you my first impression of you was just is humble. You were just a humble guy. You were like a gentle giant.
Oh,
And you were
thanks,
just
man.
you were just so good. You were calm. You helped us like you were never cocky. You were never full of yourself. You were never beating your chest. You didn't have to do that. You were that gentle giant, that's what I remember. I
Those are kind,
remember
those are
because
kind
again,
words.
we haven't had a lot of time together. You and I haven't had a lot of time. We've
Yeah,
had a little, just
correct.
very, very small. But I will tell you, you made an impression on me, and that's why obviously I agreed to do this. You're great. You were just a gentle giant, and you were not full of yourself. You were just, hey, whatever we got to do, let's just do.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Those are kind words. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
You're very
All
welcome,
right. I think we've covered all our bases, brother. Thank you
dude.
for coming on. This has been
Yeah.
wonderful. Oh, before I go, we're going to start something new, kids. We're starting something new on the Priory podcast. Shane is going to give me a number between 88 and 2015. Pick a number between 88 and 2015. Go ahead.
88 and 2015. Okay.
So basically, you're picking a tour. Pick a tour. Pick a number.
Oh well, 2000.
Oh no, hang on.
Is it
Caveat. You can't pick your own tour. Can't pick your own tour.
fair enough. So I'll go with Quiz, 1999.
1999. All right, 1999ers. Here's the game plan. We're going to do a 1999 all cast Priory podcast. I will set the date. I will put the link out, but it's going to be for anybody that was involved, whether you're with the agency, technician, work the staging, whatever, the cast, 99 team. You're going to be up on the Priory to have a team blowout and talk about your tour. Nice.
Actually, I have Richard Vasquez. Well, I have his WhatsApp number. He's in Spain. He
Okay.
retired. He's in Spain, so
Okay.
he's 6 hours ahead of us.
All right.
But I have his WhatsApp. Do you use WhatsApp?
I do not. That's one of
Well,
the things I probably don't use yet.
yeah, if you get on WhatsApp, you can call him for free. It's
Okay.
a great
Okay.
app. You just call us. But if you want it, I'll give it to you because he's in Spain. So
Okay.
you know,
We'll get the word to him. Yeah, it's a little bit of a trick because not everybody goes to the TIB Prior websites, and so you
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
kind of like send links and
yeah.
share
If
links.
if you need it, let me know. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll do that. All right. Well, Shane Riley, folks, 2001 and 2000 tour, staging director and tech director. My brother, thank you so much. I love
yes,
you. I hope to see you.
yes.
Oh, and we need to go I'll tell you what, I'll go fishing down your way. You come fishing up my way.
Now you're in North Carolina.
No, I'm in Pennsylvania, just north of Pittsburgh, up in Butler, PA.
Oh, why did I think North Carolina? Why did I think that? I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just
Pennsylvania.
north. I'm right in the Ohio River. I got
Nice.
plenty of lakes and farm ponds to fish in, and so
I'm down.
I'm gonna come down your way and catch some spot.
Dude, we got lots
No,
of fish. I live in paradise. I'm in fishing paradise. So
I need
yeah.
to come down.
Here, Dave. There's my tarpon right there.
Wow. Yeah, I'm hooked.
That's my first tarpon right there.
That's amazing. I am hooked, no pun intended, on kayak fishing, fishing off
Oh
my
yeah.
kayak.
Oh yeah.
Such fun.
Yeah,
Such.
man. Yeah,
All
man.
right,
Cool,
folks. Shane
man.
Riley, thanks, guy. I appreciate it, and
Yes,
much love to you. Give your family a big hug for me.
will do.
All
Thank
right,
you.
man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.